I've got an arrival, I'm hoping, coming shortly. Do come with me, and we'll see what it is, but I think you can guess by the title of the video what it is. I'm presently stood outside the Caravan, and it's starting to brighten up. It's done nothing but rain, and well, we needed it, didn't we? But anyway, come with me up the track. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm expecting it any moment now. That thing's been serving me well. I went to Bishop's Castle in it again, to the chemist's a couple of days ago. That was good. They've come and put a timer on my well. There was a problem with the aluminium. It was 300 parts per whatever, which was considered a bit high. And there's one or two other areas of concern, but not hugely. So they put a timer. Water comes on every 10 minutes, and no, every hour for 10 minutes, something like that. So I've asked them to come back in 3 weeks to do a retest, so it's going to cost me. Very expensive, these chemical testings. So looking forward to that, really. Getting that all finally sorted. 300 parts per whatever it is acceptable in Africa, but not in this country. Our tap water, I think the limit is 200 parts per whatever. Now, this is going to be full of sheep soon. Not my sheep. I was talking to the farmer, and he said he was going to bring... He used to have cattle here, but he's going to bring 40, 50 head of sheep. So that's going to provide some company. There's some sloes up there. Not sure you can make them out. So I might make some sloe gin. Onwards and upwards. Hope you're all well. Glad the weather's cheering up. I do some exercises in the morning, and I like to do them outside. It's a bit difficult today. I've had to put a bit more protection for sheep here. There used to be a hole under there where the sheep could get in and out, so that's been bunged up. So anyway, I'm going to perch myself here and see what can occur. Hopefully some sort of wagon will come down that road shortly, bearing my new car. I think I hear movement. This looks like them.
Hello, John.
Hiya. And that looks like the Jimny. Nice fellas. This has come from Birmingham. You don't mind me filming, it's for my channel.
You got a YouTube channel, John?
I have. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. And you haven't told us about it. You want to subscribe to you?
I got a channel.
John, there's not been a customer that we've met more times than you.
I know you keep coming and going. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Okay.
I mean, these two lads now are practically family.
Yeah, basically.
This Jimny's been coming back and forward. At least they know the way. I said that to the boss yesterday.
You know what? Come down dangerous hill there.
I said they know the way now.
You know the road is empty.
Basically, what had to happen was that I needed the four-wheel drive sorting out. So this time I'm going to check it.
Going on YouTube, John.
Eh?
We're going on YouTube.
You might do, I don't know.
I hope it's YouTube, John, not you. Give us some promotion. I hope it's not you.
Well, I could do, yeah. You'll get a bit of valuable free advertising. Anyway, so there it is. Quite an old car. I think it's about 215. But it's holding up reasonably well. Well, I'm in the Jimny. It is almost satisfactory. I think I've got the four-wheel drive and the low ratio working, but unfortunately nothing really comes up on the dash. The low ratio does, but the little blue axle thing doesn't come up. But you can hear the pumps engaging, and I did drive it down here and back up the track at a snail's pace to see if it would get up there, and it appeared to. So that suggests to me it is engaging four-wheel drive. So I'm going to keep it. I was going to send it back, back, and in the end I've lost the will to live. So the fact the bulbs aren't working shouldn't be a problem, because you can actually hear it engaging. I might even try and show you it actually. Hang on. For those car buffs, I know this will be very boring for anyone else out there. One moment. So anyway, here we are. Let's put that in there. Right, I'm in neutral. You turn it on like so. Right, hang on, this is going to take a little bit of working out again. This is the problem. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. Right, so you turn it on. While it's doing that, did you hear that? And then that's the four-wheel drive, but no lights, of course. And of course those will go out when I start up, so I'm probably in four-wheel drive at the moment. But any car buffs, do let me know. I'm not sure how you get back from four-wheel drive to two-wheel drive. I think you have to do that while you're driving along, but I will double check on YouTube. I'm not sure you can do it at a standstill. Or maybe it just resets to two-wheel drive. No idea. Anyway, I'll show you outside the vehicle. In fact, if I put Jimny in the title, lots of Jimny gurus might be watching, and they might say, "Ooh, you got a problem, you shouldn't have bought it." Oh, well, it's too late. It was cheap enough. Anyway, so here it is. Not bad, Nick. You can put manual sort of hubs on these things to keep it in four-wheel drive, and then jump out and change them over, but it's got a bit of mud on it. You'd expect that, wouldn't you? But I think it's 2015. Bodywork seems okay. There might be a ding or two, not sure. Looks like he's had a bit of a respray on that wing, possibly at some point. It's been under seal, so it's impossible to say what the state of rust is. You can see where they've thrown a load of wax oil and gunge into the wheel arches, where obviously it was beginning to rust, which is very common, I understand. But all in all, not a bad car. Didn't pay the earth for it, and I got a good price on my Part X. And that's about the size of it, chaps. Not a lot of room in the back. But that doesn't bother me. I don't know where the headrests were there are, but maybe there weren't any. Oh, they're down the front there. So, yes, that's about the size of it. But all in all, tidy vehicle. It'll do for me chugging around here. I only need the four-wheel drive really to get up that bit at the top. Once I'm on that, I'm quite happy to be in two-wheel drive. So that's the size of it, really. That's a Suzuki Jimny. Oh, hello friends, back in the caravan. I hope you enjoyed that short little look really on the Jimny. Early days, can't say anything about it. So I'm shooting in my Caravan. I bought a little, I think they're called jobby tripods, the sort of flexible things. So I can leave the other tripod up there and use this one possibly in the Caravan. It was in a charity shop anyway, and I bought it for a certain sum of money, and I think you'll remember I spoke the other day about how I met that wonderful photographer in Church Stretton in his shop, and he was actually the one who had donated it. And there I am minutes later in his shop and said, oh, I bought it. So that was rather odd, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm drinking a glass of Bordeaux. I'm smoking my Churchillian pipe, kindly gifted to me by Monsieur Vobes. Very kind. Some months ago now. I do enjoy it, principally because it's not a big bowl. Well, I should say the bowl is average, but the hole is small, so I don't know, you get a more cushioned smoke, don't you, when there's more briar going on. Need to cross my legs, get comfy. I'm in my Adidas, which is great for just lounging around here. Anyway, yeah, the Jimny's just, I'm looking at it now, it's just sort of sat there. I haven't been out in it because, well, it's not taxed. I received it yesterday and I insured it yesterday. But the problem is, I don't even know if they've sent off the V5 or the new keeper form. I did nag him about it, but they never do anything, do they? You have to keep phoning them. So heaven alone knows when I'll be able to tax it. And the other problem is I'm still paying tax on the other one. And like an idiot, when I did the swap with the couriers, the transport people, I just gave them my V5. I should have just given them the new keeper slip and kept the rest. So I can't actually inform DVLA that I've actually sold the blessed thing. So it's all a bit of a, it's just bureaucracy. Richard Vobes talks about bureaucracy all the time, and it's a bloody nightmare. I mean, there are just rules for everything, aren't there? And by God, if you break them, they come down on you, don't they? It's a bit like council tax. If you overpay, they just apologise. Some months later, I say, sorry, we made a mistake. But if you underpay, there's no sorries or apologies. You're threatened with going to prison. You don't pay such and such by such and such a date, you know, they'll take you to court. They do appear to hold all the cards, don't they? The power. Excuse my big tum. It is going down. I'm doing a lot of exercise. Anyway, can't tell you any more about the Jimny. Of course, well, it's sat there for now, but it's engaging, I think, four-wheel drive and low ratio and two-wheel drive. Something definitely happens when you press the buttons correctly. Well, I think a fuse has gone somewhere or something's not happening because it's not entirely been indicated by the dashboard, which is a nuisance. It would be more, it'd be rather, because if you drive in four-wheel drive all the time, you'll knacker the drive chain. So it's nice to know when you're going from one to the other, but there we go. I'm going to have to play that one by ear. Now some people want to say, well, I would have sent it back. But the thing is, I did a part exchange on the Ford Cougar, which was on the way out. There was a parasitic battery drain, which I just couldn't be bothered to fix in the end. That could have cost hundreds, finding it and fixing it. And there was a clunking sound every time you park and get in the car. And with a few yards, you could hear underneath the car this like that. I've no idea whether it was sticky brakes or... anyway, didn't like the sound of that either. And the other thing, end of this month, well, beginning of October, the MOT was due on the Cougar. And that could have brought up a whole plethora of extra costs, couldn't it? Anyway, as it stands, they were able to offer me twice that We Buy Any Car offer one.
and any of the other companies. So I got double, really, what I would expect for my Cougar, and given its condition, that was good. So I didn't have to find a hell of a lot more to buy this 2007 Jimny, which again for a 2007 was priced quite reasonably, and they've slapped a year's ticket on it, so I'm good to go. Underneath is all under sealed, probably because it's hiding rust. I don't know. I'm not sure somebody would go to the expense of under sealing it all if they just wanted to conceal rust and flog it. Seems a rather expensive way of going about it. I may have bought a dud, I don't know. And I'm smoking, did I say, Robert O'Connell Oriental. Which is a very mild Latakia forward sort of English blend, really, I'd call it. I wouldn't call it a complete Oriental. It just tastes like a very well-rounded English blend to me. What do you think, those who've smoked it? I've not done a great lot today. I've just been faffing about, really. I had a little look at my novel. I got up rather late because yesterday I was up at 5, so I had to lie in today. Anyway, today various things have arrived through the post. The camera I'm shooting this on is a Canon M50. It's the EOS, Canon EOS system. And I thought it'd be rather nice to put some vintage lens on. Now I have a vintage lens here. This is your Canon 1.4, 50mm 1.4. Nice old lens, probably from the 50s. And what I thought I'd do, although it's proving more difficult than I thought, was because you can take the lens off the camera that you're viewing me through. I was just interested to see what effect a vintage lens on it would have. Well, so far, so I bought this adapter, and an adapter there, and with this adapter I'm able to put the old LTM39 screw mount lenses onto that camera. I've only got the one that's with the old Barnack, which you saw the other day, the Elmar 50mm 3.5 screw mount, so that goes into the adapter and can go onto that, as can this with that adapter. And this is a razor sharp, well-regarded lens. But what also came at the same time, on this lens at the moment, there is a M-mount adapter. So this is a screw mount, which will go directly straight onto the old Barnack Leica. But to get it onto my M3, I've had to put an M-mount adapter. And I'll show you how that works, really. Good thing about this pipe is that it's got a flat base, so you can just stand it on the side. So I've got I better put my specs on for this. I've got my Leica M3 here. You'll have seen it on earlier videos. It is a thing of beauty. And it's got at the moment the Summicron 50, which is supposed to be the sort of, I don't know, the holy grail of lenses. Lovely, big heavy thing that. But anyway, and its original lens cap. I've put the, it's a bit of a faff getting these on. They don't slide on as nicely as you rather hope they would. But this is the Canon with the adapter. I've just got to sort out how I do this. So as I say, it's not entirely straightforward. There was something that I look for on it. I can't remember what it is that I look for. Bear with me. I might just try to stick it on anyway. There is a sort of a way to do this. It's not quite plain sailing. That's it. Did you hear that click? That's extraordinary, isn't it? So there we've got an old Leica M3, but with the nice old lens there. So I like mixing things up, and I will mix and match, and I'll let you know how I get on. I'm going to shoot some on this and use the same lens on the old Barnack D, the Leica rangefinder, the early one. So those sort of came through, which is nice, isn't it? I'm really happy with all of that. Put it down there. What else came today? It was that you might have seen that. That's just a hood for putting on the old Barnack as well, on the Elmar 3.5. Useful, because you get on those old lenses, those vintage lenses, you get a lot of flare. So you do need a hood, really. And what else can I show you? Oh, and the other great thing was, sometimes with these old ones, this is the Barnack, as you know, they recommend not to leave the lens open and to put a lens cap, and this didn't come with one, and they never do they? And so one came through the post today, look. And that was another little thing that came through. Little lens cap. You see, and that will just pop on there, like so. And I go close up. And that just sort of sits on there, look. Some famous photographer, I can't remember his name, had the lens cap like that, sort of on his wrist dangling, and in between every shot he'd put it back on. Apparently it's not good to get too much light into these cameras. I don't know whether it's the shutter curtain thing or what it is. Anyway, they recommend always having a lens cap. So, rather pleased with that. And I think it sets it off somewhat splendidly. The case it's in is in an unbelievable condition. Normally they're totally beaten up and the stitching's all coming undone and one thing or another. I saddle soaked this and applied a bit of beeswax. So I'm hoping it'll outlive me now. Well, the camera probably will. It's quite frightening when you look at the average age and you think, gosh, I might only have to... And this is, if I live healthily, I might only have another 20 years. Because I look back to what I was doing 20 years ago and it seems like yesterday. And of course, as you get older, time speeds up. Not very thrilling, is it, when you've got so much to do, so much to achieve, so much loving to give, and so many experiences to have, and missions to accomplish. So, is that all the updates? I think so. Yeah, I'm just messing about with lenses, really. I've got a lovely Nikon lens in there too, a 50mm in my little box. I bought a box for £8, a lovely mahogany thing, with tortoiseshell escutcheons. There was a sort of charity shop affair. That was my phone pinging. I thought I'd turned it off. Well, I did turn it off, so I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I bought that. Lovely old mirror for £3. In gilt gesso. A nice antique one. And what else did I buy? Oh, and I bought some old, the old poison bottles and old medicine bottles. I quite like those, the old apothecary type things. So they cheered me up. And they're sitting in my wee pantry, not sure what to do with them, because they didn't have the cork stoppers. I'm going to have to find a source of small stoppers for medicine bottles. I'm sure Temu will probably sell them. They seem to sell everything else. Anyway, so really, that's my camera matters at the moment. I need to sort out this Canon and work out where I'm going wrong. I've taken some photos, because it's a digital camera, obviously, with these vintage lenses, but they're all blurred. And so when you're looking at the LCD screen, everything looks, no matter what you do with the lens, in terms of focus, doesn't seem to make a right lot of difference. And even when you think you've got it in focus and you're looking at the digital LCD viewfinder, when you press click and it shows you the image, it's always blurred. So I suspect I'm going to have to mess about with the manual settings a little bit further. In order to make them work at all, you have to go into the menu and have a lens shutter adaptation, which I did, because it won't shut at all unless you enable something or disable something. But there's probably more things I have to enable and disable. because I'd like to shoot some of these videos on a vintage lens. That would be great, and I'd like to see the difference it makes. I'm going to have fish tonight. It's defrosting as we speak. Ah, lovely day. Hasn't rained today for a change. And that's really about the size of it. Nothing else to report. It's just been all Jimnys and messing around with cameras, which I enjoy actually. But yeah, they're great. It's a sort of a... You go down a rabbit hole with cameras and photography. You find yourself window shopping for lenses. But, well, I suppose it keeps me out of mischief, doesn't it? I'm sure there are far worse addictions in life. And with that, I think I'll leave you. Hope you're all well. Thanks for all the... Had a myriad of comments regarding Paul Monty, and extending love and good wishes to myself, which heartily appreciated, and I've looked at every one of them and responded, I hope. I'm slowly getting back on my feet. Thought I saw up the video outages, or whatever the word is, output. And well, it gives me something to do apart from anything else, takes my mind off things. But there's not a great lot going on. When I take the Jimny out on its maiden voyage, I'll take you with me. Not probably quite as exciting as my old Land Rover, but we'll see. Probably go out this weekend somewhere. Anyway, there we go. Father John signing out. God bless you, my wee parish of misfits, misshapen and mavericks. All you misunderstood people, you lost tribe of Israel. Have a nice evening. I hope you have something nice to eat, have something nice to drink. And I'll hopefully, God willing, see you on the next video, and I might be doing it through a vintage lens. God bless.